We are at the Daytona International Speedway for the first race of the Nascar Authentic's Hot Wheels Cup Series. Every NASCAR driver dreams of winning at Daytona, and one of these 31 drivers will get the chance to celebrate their win. Now, here are your drivers to watch out for in the Daytona 500. Austin Dillon starts on pole today and was the winner in duel number 1. Can he use that as momentum to win at Daytona? Brad Keselowski is starting second and had one of the fastest times in practice. He says that his car is really fast. Can he use that to win at Daytona? Aiden North is the driver owner for Aiden North Racing, and he won duel number 2. He's hoping to be a bright spot for his team as his other 2 drivers start near the back of the pack. Daniel Suarez was fastest in practice and was leading in the duels until Clint Boyer and Austin Dillon passed him. Can he use that as motivation to win? Today's pace car driver is Toontrax Racing, and he is driving in the Lamborghini Countach pace car. If you would like to be a pace car driver in the next race, comment down in the video below. Now we are ready to hear command to fire engines.
Welcome to the sold-out 2018 Daytona 500. Drivers, start your engines!
The engines have been fired, and we are ready to get this race underway. We will start in segment number 1. In row 1, we have the number 3 of Austin Dillon and the 88 of Alex Bowman. In row 2, we have the 9 of Chase Elliott and the 18 of Kyle Busch. In row 3, we have the 4 car of Kevin Harvick and the 28 car of Joseph West. And in row 4, we have Vinny Nightlife. Let's get the Daytona 500 underway. Austin Dillon dominated segment 1, and there was like no other competition. The only one was right here when Elliott tried to cross over Dillon, but Dillon managed to block it off. Dillon did a great job of holding his line and pulling ahead, and he will be advancing on to the final stage. Austin Dillon finishes first, Chase Elliott finishes second, Alex Bowman finishes third, Vinny Nightlife moves from 7th all the way to 4th, Kyle Busch in 5th, Joseph West in 6th, and Kevin Harvick in 7th. Now we are ready for segment number 2. In row 1, we have Penske teammates Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano. In row 2, we have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Jimmy Johnson. In row 3, we have Kurt Busch and William Byron. And in row 4, we have Bubba Wallace and Matt Tifft, who will join Austin Dillon in the final stage. Let's do it! Keselowski was challenged for that win as Logano passed him in lap number 1 and then kept that in lap number 2. Keselowski never actually passed until lap number 3 where he pulled away. And as you see, in lap number 3 here, he passes Logano, shoves him down, and then in a very close lap number 4, he almost gets passed by Kurt Busch for the win. Very close race there, as that's how close it was, not by much. As Keselowski will take first, Kurt Busch finishes in 2nd, Joey Logano finishes 3rd, Jimmy Johnson finishes 4th, Bubba Wallace finishes 5th, Ricky Stenhouse finishes 6th, William Byron finishes in 7th, and Matt Tifft finishes in 8th. Now for segment number 3. In row 1, we have the 14 car of Clint Boyer and the 12 car of Ryan Blaney. In row 2, you have the 6 car of Ryan Newman and the 21 car of Paul Menard. In row 3, we have Matt DiBenedetto in the 95 and Eric Almirola in the 10. And then in row 8, we have Denny Hamlin in the 11 and Tyler Reddick in the 31. Let's do it! The race was about lost for Clint Boyer as Matt DiBenedetto clipped him and spun him out, but he managed to hold on to the lead, and he managed to keep it throughout the rest of the race as he takes the win and will advance on to the final stage. Clint Boyer finishes in first, Ryan Newman finishes second, Ryan Blaney finishes third, Matt DiBenedetto finishes fourth, Paul Menard finishes fifth, Denny Hamlin finishes sixth, Tyler Reddick's in seventh, and Eric Almirola in eighth. Now for the final segment, segment number 4. In row 1, we have Aiden North and Daniel Suarez. In row 2, we have Joe Gibbs' teammates Eric Jones and Martin Truex Jr. In row 3, we have Daniel Hemrick and Kyle Larson. In row 4, we have Christopher Bell and Ty Dillon. Let's do it. It took 2 laps for Daniel Suarez to get around Aiden North, and then Daniel Suarez kept that lead throughout. And as the final lap occurred, Daniel Suarez was being pursued by Aiden North, but managed to make a great block to prevent Aiden North from making the pass. As we look at the finish line cam here, great job by Daniel Suarez to get in front of Aiden North to prevent him from making a run to try to take the win. As Daniel Suarez finishes first, Aiden North in second, Daniel Hemrick in third, Eric Jones in fourth, Kyle Larson in fifth, Ty Dillon in sixth, Martin Truex Jr. in seventh, and Christopher Bell in eighth. We will take a break and be back with the remaining races right after this. Welcome back. We are ready for the 6th and 7th race. In this race, we have all the cars that finished 6th and 7th in their respective segments. So in row 1, we have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Joseph West. In row 2, we have Denny Hamlin and Ty Dillon. In row 3, we have Martin Truex Jr. and Kevin Harvick. And in row 4, we have William Byron and Tyler Reddick. The winner will advance into the 4th and 5th race. Let's do it! Ricky Stenhouse Jr. did a great job preventing Truex and Hamlin from passing him, as he just held his line, actually got loose there, but manages to win, and he will advance on to the 4th and 5th race with a chance of getting into the final stage. Stenhouse finishes in first, Truex finishes in second, Hamlin finishes third, Byron in fourth, Harvick in fifth, Ty Dillon in sixth, West in seventh, and Tyler Reddick in 8th. Now for the 4th and 5th race. In row 1, we have Eric Jones and Jimmy Johnson. In row 2, we have Matt DiBenedetto and Vinny Nightlife. In row 3, we have Paul Menard and Kyle Busch. In row 4, we have Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace. And in row 5, the winner of the 6th and 7th race, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. The winner will advance on to the 2nd and 3rd race. Jimmy Johnson wins and will advance on to the 2nd and 3rd race as he got a great push by DiBenedetto and Kyle Busch. But it was interesting because if Kyle Busch and DiBenedetto don't push Jimmy Johnson, Eric Jones has a chance to advance. That is very interesting. As Jimmy Johnson takes first, Matt DiBenedetto finishes second, Kyle Busch finishes third, Eric Jones finishes fourth, Paul Menard finishes fifth, Vinny Nightlife finishes 6th, Bubba Wallace finishes 7th, Ricky Stenhouse finishes 8th, and Kyle Larson in 9th. Now we are ready for the 2nd and 3rd race. The top 4 will advance on into the final stage. Aiden North will lead them down, followed by Chase Elliott. Then in row 2 will be Ryan Newman and Kurt Busch. then Penske teammates Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano, then Alex Bowman and Daniel Hemrick, and then your fourth and fifth winner, Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie Johnson will win the second and third race after starting in the back. But interesting, he does a great job avoiding the wreck as Aiden North spins and then Newman pushes him, and it's going to be Aiden Johnson and then Aiden North, and then it's going to be Newman, I think, but I don't know who got the last spot. Hemrick actually got third. Newman is going to get fourth. Elliott, who was right in there, got involved in the wreck. Then it was Blaney, then Bowman, then Logano, and then Kurt Busch. Now we are ready for the final stage. Austin Dillon starts on pole for the final stage. He's going to start beside Brad Keselowski. Then in row 2, Clint Bowyer and Daniel Suarez, both Stewart-Haas teammates. Then in row 3, we have the first place car of the second and third race, Jimmie Johnson and Aiden North. And then in row 4, we have Daniel Hemrick and Ryan Newman. This will be a 6-lap race to determine your winner of the Daytona 500. Brad Keselowski is your Daytona 500 winner after almost lost it here as he got forced 3 wide, but managed to hold on through the rest of the race as it was so close to being a lost cause for Brad Keselowski. But he manages to hold on, block Austin Dillon and Daniel Suarez to take the win and be your first winner of the NASCAR Authentics Hot Wheels Cup Series. Great job by Brad Keselowski, as he is definitely going to be celebrating in victory lane tonight. As Brad Keselowski will finish first, Austin Dillon finishes second, Daniel Suarez got third, Clint Bowyer got fourth, Jimmie Johnson finishes fifth, Aiden North in sixth, Daniel Hemrick in seventh, and Ryan Newman in eighth. And there he is, Brad Keselowski celebrating victory lane with his team. A well-deserved victory for Brad Keselowski as he almost wasn't going to make it into the final stage after Kurt Busch made a photo finish in segment 2. And here are your finisher positions. Brad Keselowski was the winner of the race. Dillon finished second, Suarez in third, Bowyer in fourth, Jimmie Johnson in fifth, Aiden North in sixth, Daniel Hemrick in seventh, Newman in eighth, Elliott in ninth, and Ryan Blaney rounds out your top 10. As here are your 21st through 31st. Some notable cars down here: Harvick in 25th, Almirola in 29th. Those two Stewart-Haas teammates need to be up there with the other two. Now we take a look at your point standings. Keselowski earns 5 playoff points with that win, plus his 1 from his segment win. Dillon, Suarez, and Bowyer will both get a playoff point with their segment win. Brad Keselowski is your winner at the Daytona International Speedway. The next race we head to is the Northville City Race Center. It is going to be an interesting track as it makes its debut on the channel. Stay tuned for upcoming information about the next race. I'm Aiden North, and I'll see you in the next one.